and all, Nimby here. This morning we're going to be doing up the Purple Peril. Good morning. Good tea. This is another salmon steelhead fly from the west coast, Vancouver Island area. I don't have an original maker for it, but it looks like it was originally tied and used around the Nanaimo area on the island. So, Vancouver Island, we'll say. Morning, K-Fish bro. Congrats on your, I'm doing well, mate. Congrats on getting your 50 subs so you can stream there. I was bombing around your channel the other morning. So, congratulations on that, mate. It is 6:30 here. So I did notice a few kind of glitchy things that happened with the last stream, so we're going to see if they keep happening for me or not. I might have to make some adjustments to some settings. I'm not even sure what I need to adjust. Yeah, I seen that you were climbing. Once you hit 50, you started ticking off, which is great. If you guys don't mind letting me know in chat, are you watching on a vertical stream or a horizontal stream? So is it tall and is it your regular vertical like you'd watch on your phone, or is it horizontal like you'd watch on a computer? Well, let me know in the chat. Oh, it's like teaching a little kid to swim. You kind of just throw it off the end of a dock. No, I'm kidding. We'll be putting a hair wing on this one, which is from deer hair. Okay, so you guys are watching horizontal, eh? Okay, so I'm getting both. Good. Okay, so we got someone on a vertical. So Muddy's on vertical. That's cool. So they are both going out. Because yesterday it looked like I didn't get any anything going out to the shorts feed. It was going out to the vertical live, but not the shorts feed at all. Hence the numbers being a lot lower. I think we're only at like 300 and normally about 3,000. So took a hit there on the view count, but it's all good. Trying to work out. Don't dig in the trash can, Nimby. You're getting fluff everywhere. What kind of wings are you tying in, Tyler? Can you be a little more specific for me? And I'll definitely give you a hand once we get this first one going. Because there's lots of different types of wings, and they all have a little bit different technique to them. So if you can let me know what you're tying, I'll be more than happy to. Okay, well, I'm glad the horizontal's working and the vertical's working, so that's cool. So for feathers, are you meaning like a quill wing? Here, let me grab. Before we start this fly, I'm just gonna chat with Tyler here, and we'll see if I can get his issue partly figured out here. Do I have any quill wings kicking around? I gotta have a couple quill wings on the desk here. Come on now. Hey, are you doing soft feather wings like these guys? Or are you doing like a quill feather wing like... of course all my quill wings are like way at the back of my pile here. One second, I'm just trying not to knock them all over. Come here, quill wings. There we go. Are you doing quill wings like these guys? Where it's like an actual chunk of a feather, and you want it to stay a chunk of a feather to make a wing? Or are you doing like an overwing, like these guys, where you have a big chunk of fur? Or something completely different. You could be doing like a Mohican like these ones here too. Let me know. I'm not going to tie that whatever you need right now because we're doing this one first, but afterwards. You can tie this guy that we tied the other day. That works really well with long chartreuse fur. Pink body, so you can use Fentex or wool or chenille, and then you can use the green chartreuse as an overwing. So I know this is not fur, but you can easily replace the Fentex in place of fur. Okay, so we're gonna finish, keep on with this guy. So it requires purple hackle for the tail. This guy might be a little bit on the thin side. I'm gonna save him for the beard, actually. I'll dig out a thicker feather here for the tail. So I'm just gonna be using this small upland game bird dyed wine. You can use any purple feathers you got, and if you don't have any purple feathers, grab some white ones and a purple Sharpie and color it up. Yeah, it takes a little bit, and then like everyone's setup's a little different too. So it really, like if you're Googling info for live streaming, like everyone's gonna have a little bit different kind of answer for you, which can be a little frustrating, but everyone's setup's a little different. I think you meant pike there, Tyler. Is that true? Did you mean pike? If you're looking for fish or for flies that are really good for pike, I posted some this morning, well, early this morning, like 1 in the morning, on our community page. There's several. I'm going to be putting a 4th one on there, so there'll actually be 4 posts with 3 flies each that are all really good bait fish, fluffy bait fish patterns that you can fish and tie for pike. If that was your question, I'm assuming you meant pike there. Hey, so we got a nice big old, basically in essence like a spay hackle, but it's just I took it off the side of that cape there. So it's, you know, it's kind of trying to be a spay hackle, but it doesn't have to be. I'm just gonna strip off all this fuzzy stuff on the bottom because we're not gonna use that. And this one's gonna be just for our beard and our tail. So we'll get rid of that. This is a little bit on the thin side as far as hackle goes, so I'm gonna be taking off a good chunk here. Normally I'd take off about a gap height, but you can see this stuff's a little on the thinner side, so I'm gonna take off a little more than that right now. And to do that, to get them lined up, I'm just going to grab the racus and kind of pull on it. You can see that it's bending in. That'll push the middle out a little bit, and we should get our tips lined up a little better that way. You can see it's kind of like a C shape. We'll pull it out and they'll all be lined up. You can feel free to maneuver yours however it needs to be maneuvered to get the ends straight. There we go. They don't have to be crazy straight, but having them together will make it look a little better. There we go. So, has like a decently long tail, so we're going to go with the working body length on this. So a gap height would be about there, and then we're going to give it about a quarter more. So about a gap height and a quarter, which will give us a working body length. This one became very popular up and down BC. It originally was tied around Nanaimo, so all the fly shops on the island in the 60s would definitely have a bunch of these in different colors. There's different variations I've seen people tie over the years on these. Everything from blue tails, blue bodies, to different colored wings. I'm sorry, mate. Are you meaning pike? I'm not sure what you mean by splake. That might be something I'm not familiar with. I apologize for that. I'm assuming you mean pike. If anyone knows what Tyler's referring to, throw it in the chat for me. That's what I was thinking too. Thanks, K-Fish. Yo, people. Hey, wee man. How's it going, mate? Oh, speckled trout. Okay. Well, as far as I know, speckled trout is really just a type of, like, almost like a brook trout. So, anything, they really like bright colors, especially reds, oranges, yellows. They like things that stand out really well. So if you have a, let's see, something like this, like these guys would work great because they're nice and bright and orange. If you're going more on the terrestrial side, well, these guys would work good too, like the orange and the yellow and the blue and the red tails. No worries, Rob. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Good to see you, man. There we go. Yeah, it's always good. It's hard, wee man. I know I jump in the chats too, and it's like, there's like 15 people I gotta say hi to. I feel you, mate. Okay, so we got tail tied in there. Now we're gonna go with some, where did I put it down? Just regular old flat mylar tinsel. Okay, if you're fishing deep, like especially anything over 15 feet of water, you're gonna lose all your reds and your yellows and all that. So you'll actually want to tie a fly this color. This one's actually meant for darker days and rainy days, hence why it was tied around Nanaimo, because it rains so much there. So anytime you have low light conditions, you'll actually want to stick with your blues, your purples, that shade of color. So think of violet colors. Because those are the only colors the fish are going to really see when you're below 15, 20 feet. So yeah, if you're fishing that deep, give this one a try, or something similar. You can take any fly and just change the colors up on it, Thanks, Corey. Appreciate that. Thank you. So anyone that's watching on the vertical, if you could let me know if should be kind of right where my fingers are. If the screen is pretty much just cutting right by the fly there for you, like if it's lined up properly. Because YouTube is doing the editing in the background and I can't 100% tell where it's lining up. But I think I got it. So for the body, we're going to be using this wonderful purple Fintex. You're more than welcome to use like a purple wool body. There you go. Yeah, it's fun to get that little almost graduation, you know. Hopefully you had some good people in your class that were fun to hang out with too. That's always a bonus. Okay, so I'm going to cut this about 2 hand lengths. We're going to hope that's enough. Should be. This is fairly thick. I might actually cut this. Well, we'll see if it'll separate. Yeah, if you don't have this, you can use wool, you can use yarn, floss. This was originally tied with either a wool or a yarn floss. is what they would have had around 60s, 70s, but it also became very popular to tie it with this Fentex because it was very popular around the 70s and 60s, late 60s. Okay, so I am going to split this actually, just gently. Oh, why'd your school get canceled? It's never a bad thing. God, I was always excited when school got canceled. It doesn't happen enough. Not that school's a bad thing, but you know, every kid's excited when they get a day off school. Alright, so now we got one strand. They don't have really thick bodies on these. The bodies are generally tied in almost like a light cigar shape. Oh, you can't not hit like, man. Oh. I find that entertaining when they close. Although, you know, our schools get closed for snow too, but it's when that happens, it's like a lot of snow, like you just can't drive snow. I think that's only happened maybe once last year? Maybe twice. Definitely not happening this year. We're way too freaking warm. Way too warm this year. Alright, so we're tying in that nice purple. Got a few little wispy bits on it I'm going to try and tame here, but it's the only downside to the Fentex. Well, not the only downside, but the major one. Pop it in my keeper there for a second. We'll get a half hitch on this guy, so I can use the rotary. Buddy, really? Man, my half hitch just jumped right up to the eye there. That's not a big deal, but I like to keep them by the body there if I can. There. Get that in the holder. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, K-Fish, glad to see your channel popping off there. Well, you can do the live streams. You'll be getting a lot more, you'll be getting subs pretty quick here now. I'm hoping I'll be free when you get a live going so I can come join you. That would be cool. Make sure to change your settings too, K-Fish, so you can save them as VODs, eh? You know, a lot of live streamers will tell you to not save them and delete them after, but a lot of my live streams kicked off like 3 or 6 months later, and I got a lot of views and watch time from them. Well, not that that's important really for a numbers perspective too, but each one of those people, you know, got to enjoy it when it would have just been deleted and gone. That part's more important to me. So yeah, make sure you have your settings set to save them so that they become a video after. And you don't have to do any editing. Just make a little thumbnail for them if you want to, and away you go. I'm just backing this up a bit, just to build this top part up here just a hair. There we go. Oh, thanks, Monty. I appreciate that. It's just hard for me to tell what you guys are seeing because, like, I am using OBS, but I'm trying the new vertical horizontal streaming setup that the YouTube released. Hey, there you go. Yeah, it's always fun when you make a pretty fly. Like honestly, even like after thousands of flies, I still When I make a nice pretty one, it's like, I like you, you're cute. Brr. Gotta enjoy it when it turns out well, eh? Alright, so we got a nice purple body there, and I just did a little bit thicker thorax. The traditional pattern calls for more of like a cigar shape, so thinner on the end, thicker in the middle-ish, up to the thorax, and then thinned off again. So if you want to stick more traditional, you can go that way. Anything I tie with an overwing, I typically like this body shape. And it's just a very subtle change in body shape anyway, it's nothing crazy. So I'm going to work my thread back over top of those cut ends a bit here. Not a huge amount, but we need about a bodkin width of, yeah, so about a bodkin, there we go. Width at the end so we can tie in our hair and our beard. I do have a little fluff on top there that I didn't quite pull hard enough on that Fentex when I was tying it in, but the wing's going to go right on top of that, so it's not going to make any difference. But yeah, for future, don't do as Nimby does and pull your body nice and tight. I'm just going to hand wrap. Am I going to hand wrap this or am I going to twirl it? I'll hand wrap it. Let's live dangerously today. I'm glad you're having fun with fly tying, Tyler. I really am. That means a lot. When you can tie something like that and it puts a smile on your face, that's exactly where it's at. That's the money right there. That's what we're all here for. And no one can take that away from you. That feeling is 100% yours. And you did it. There we go. I feel like I'm a hair out of focus here today too. One second, I'll try and move my vise, see if I can get it a little better. Ooh, no, that's worse. And okay, well I guess I am as in focus as my camera's gonna let me for right now. That's fine. Like I said, adjusting things. We'll get it working a little better next time. Yeah, we're gonna tie our beard in before we go for our wing. Beard's gonna be the same feather, same stuff. That's purple. And we're gonna go a little bit farther up this time. Yeah, we don't need a huge amount because it's just a little whiff of a beard. But like that, pop it off. And now that I'm saying that, I don't think that's enough, so let's do it again. I'm gonna grab some from this other one here too, actually. Same cape, so it should work fine. Sometimes your hackle fibers will be kind of thin and you'll need to double it up like we're doing. Lake trout are a finicky animal. they're straight up predators, right? So if you're going 40 feet, you're gonna need to tie with some darker colors like these, purples, blues. You can use light blues and stuff, but down that deep, they're gonna look more like a darker blue or purple. Um, you want to stay away from like yellows and reds because they're just not gonna exist down there. It'll look like a gray color. Then you're going to tie patterns that are similar to like a bait fish. So you'd want to do like a not necessarily like a game changer, but you could do hollow flies, like hollow minnow flies, which are pretty easy to tie. You can do these guys, just in a much larger format. And I'd probably do, where'd they go now? Just had them here. Oh, no, that one. Alright, I got too many things going on here. I mixed them all up. Where are you? Sorry, Tyler, give me a second here. Ones like these guys will work really good, except I'd change the red out for blue, so you'd use like a quite a bright blue for the eyes and the tail. And the same with something like these would work okay. I'm looking for my deer hair. Where'd they go? I like just had the thing in my hand. One second, I'm gonna check back here. Ugh. Okay, these aren't the ones I was looking for, but they're very similar anyway. So, like this guy with the orange here, but I'd change out orange and yellow for blue and purple. And same with these guys. So, keep the silver. You could tie a small little blue tail in, and instead of the yellow, white and blue on top. And that would work for that depth. Lake trout are going to be almost specifically eating other little bait fish, especially that deep. So you're going to want to tie something that imitates a bait fish. And I would stick with purples, blues, in that color spectrum, like the violet color spectrum. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Got a little sidetracked for Tyler there. But that's okay. That's what we're here for. I wish I knew where I stuck that other cork. I just can't see it there for the life of me. I know it is right here because I just had it in my hand. Oh, here we go. It was right next to those green ones I was showing you. So these kind of things just much bigger in size. These ones are just regular trout. But you can tie these up to like a size 1/0 or 2/0. But it's just simply deer hair pulled over. So you got white deer hair on the bottom and then black or brown on the top. And just pulled over. You can look up darters, you can look up black nose dances, and that kind of thing works really well for lake trout as well. And they're really easy to tie, and I would just change up the, if you have some pretty black deer hair that you can use on the top, that'll work fine. Otherwise, like I said, I'd mix in a little bit of blue or purple, either with some blue or purple flash on the top, like just a couple strands of, I got one? Yeah, here. This one's black, this would also work. So this kind of material. But if you had this in like a blue or a purple, just to give it a little color, at that depth. Those are the only colors that are going to show. So black, blue, purple, something like this, and just tying a couple strands of those around. There's not going to be much light down there, but just a little bit of flash like this. Just recently, most of my flies are, to be honest, on the small side. Well, compared to a lot of people that tie on here. But right now I'm just going through a number of salmon streamer patterns and steelhead patterns for the next couple weeks here. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of size like 4s and 2s and that kind of thing for currently. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this. It's just a very lightly dyed pink, almost like a flesh color deer body here. You can use gray too. Gray's the most common, like if you're finding these in a fly shop. It's probably not going to be pink, but the original pattern calls for a pink to a red, a light pink to a light red overwing of deer body here. And we have some, so we're going to use some. I think that this light pink is going to go really well with this pattern as it is. So we're going to measure that out. And we're not trying to like swamp this thing like stimulator or something. It's just a slight, fairly light overwing. This will, again, morely meant to imitate like a bait fish pattern, not so much for a wing. So we're going to clean that out. I'm just going to be grabbing the tips here. And all these little ones should become loose. And I should be able to just pull out most of them. We're going to run our comb through here and get the rest out. Want to make sure this is fairly clean before we try to tie it in. So all that waste like that's not going to do any good for us at all. It's just going to fall out and give us a thick head for no reason. So just brushing it out. There's not a whole lot in this clump, so I don't have to worry too much. And I'm not going to restack this because it's not necessary for this fly to have a exactly precise wing. I kind of want to have a little bit of variation in the tip ends. So as long as you can pull it off the hide and keep it together, things should be just fine. As far as length goes, we want it to end, if we can get it to, kind of like mid-tail. So right about there. One thing I'll do with these is I'll do one wrap up, I'll hold it when I'm doing overwings with deer hair, like especially body hair because it's so floofy. Do one wrap just around the deer hair. Just around the deer hair. And then bring it down to the hook. Keep the line not tight, but you see them just barely flaring the deer hair a little bit. Do a soft pinch, bring the thread down. So now my fingers are holding the thread. No tension on the deer hair. Okay. And I'm gonna bring it right down at that point and then wrap. And that'll flare the deer hair from this point on, but should keep it on top of the hook and not necessarily flare the back. And now I can work on getting a few more wraps here. And I'm just going to slowly increase tension. And I'm going to increase tension as I'm tying. Oh, this is really flaring out on me. A lot more than I was expecting. I'm going to slowly increase tension as I'm moving forward, trying to keep all these ends, if they'll be nice and let me, pulled forward. There's always one. There's always one that wants to be backwards. He's a rebel, just taking a stand. Come on, buddy. Hang out with your friends. Okay, never mind, just break off, that's fine, you can do that too. But the whole point of that is you want to keep it on top like that, so you have a nice blah, blah, blah. Your wing stays on top and it's all nice and happy like that. Once you have 4 or 5 wraps like we got now, then you're safe to let go, but there's not a lot holding it in. There's not a lot holding it in, so be gentle with it. And you definitely don't want to pull on the ends over here. You can move them around like I'm trying to do. You don't want to pull on them yet, because they'll move. And we want to take progressively tighter wraps going forward, not back. Ugh, okay. This is incredibly floofy, I forgot. I tied a few flies with this patch, I forgot how floofy it is. Actually would be very good for spinning. So when I'm tying back, after this step, I'm going to bind this down. When I'm tying backwards, I'm going to do progressively less and less tension, so I don't flare this this wing out too much. But I'm going to have to trim this. I was going to try and bind it down a little bit more. Yeah. But, you know, I'm happy. That's a good wing. I'm happy with that. We're going to trim that off here, though, so it doesn't go all crazy on me. I'm going to attempt to, anyway. See, most of this is behaving really well. It's just this handful of guys right here. These guys, these are like the ones in the back of the bus that are causing all the problems. It's like, if you would just sit still, we could get on with our lesson. But no. No. You just have to just misbehave and just go all over the place. Okay, we're gonna get this up. Yeah, I'm gonna try and cut it. It's gonna behave enough. On a 45 here. I'm gonna be missing some, but I can cut anyway. There, we'll get the ones I missed after. But you can see how the wing's moving around. Oop. And especially when I bonk my especially when I bonk my bobbin like that. Come on, man. I got my finger caught in the bobbin when I pulled back. That's okay. Stuff like this happens. It's all good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, time of the year makes a huge difference in underfur. That's for sure. One of the reasons I like to leave this loose, like you can keep wrapping and move that forward, but one of the reasons I like to leave it fairly loose like that, even though I'm tempting fate, because you can tell how loose it is. It really wants to spin and move around. But the benefit is it wants to spin and move around, so if I need to adjust it at all, I can a little bit. Or at least I tell myself I can. It's a little bit like telling a toddler to sit still and watch TV for 5 minutes. It's like, you like TV. We know you like TV, but will you sit still and watch TV? No. So we're going to take the thread and just cut through the middle of that, bind the first half down. Same thing. Again, cut through the middle. Try and get back a bit. Bind down. And then we're going to work from the eye up. And it's going to get rid of our step there. Well, that sucks. I hate Wi-Fi problems. Okay, we are safe enough to let go and see what we got. And at this point, what we got's what we got. Cool. That actually is almost smack on kind of what I was shooting for. Okay, now that's probably about as laid down as I'm going to get with this specific clump of deer hair, because it's very, very, very poofy. You can also add a little drop, and I probably should have add just a little drop. I'm just doing some very, as I torque on it, was just gonna say I'm doing some very light wraps up top here just to keep it in place. And then progressively more back down. And we did that right, we shouldn't have. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna want to tie some big, fairly big, dense flies for that. Not that I'm knocking on fly tying for its ability to catch big lake trout like that, but to be honest, I would be using plugs or flashers that deep. 40 feet's a long way down for a fly to perform. Not that you can't, you definitely can. You can use those patterns that I pointed out, just in a much bigger format. You can check out the ones that I got on the community post today and the last couple days. There's sets of 3 of those type of flies that work for that. But if it was me in the boat, honestly, I'd just use a plug or a... There you go. Oh, I see. I'm sorry, Tyler. That makes sense now. Yeah, you want to use like minnow pattern, which is too bad. I was showing you all these flies and you weren't even there. Here, give me a second. I'll try and find them again. You can do like Mohican style flies, like these ones here, just much bigger. You can do things like these sofa pillows, but again, I'd take the red out and I'd switch it out for blues and purples. Similar to this fly, actually. Then you could go to like a Clouser type minnow, similar to these. Or this one guy here on the other side of those. And then these, like the black nose dances, they're just tying them much bigger and pronounced with little googly eyes. And again, I'd switch the white up for blues, purples, blacks, because those are the only colors that they're going to see down that deep. And I'd add in a little bit of this flash material. This one's black and silver, but you get the idea. You'd want to have a few strands of this mixed in, because there's so little light down there that this isn't going to do a lot, but whatever light there is, making it down that far is going to, this is going to help attract it. But yeah, 40 feet of water is a lot to ask for your flies, so you almost want to go more on like the salmon end of style of flies. Because any of the lake trout that are going to be hanging out that deep, they're going to have really similar consistency to the way a salmon does its thing. There's kind of 2 schools of thought to large trout patterns like that. If you're only planning on catching 1 or 2 fish on it, excuse me, tea time. If you're only planning on catching 1 or 2 fish, then I'd say use kind of whatever you got handy. It don't matter, because if they tear it up, it's not going to matter, right? If you want it to be durable enough to catch a few on it, then you're going to have to go with what package were you talking about? Sorry, Tyler. Are you talking about the fly I'm tying now, or the one I was talking about? Sorry, mate. I think we're on 2 different pages there, so feel free to correct me. It's all good. Yeah, for lake trout are a finicky beast. Yeah, that's true. The Great Lakes are crazy for sure. They hold a lot of fresh water, and they're basically like a mini ocean, really. Kind of surprised they're not big enough to actually have tides and things. I know they have currents and things that get affected by that, but they are huge. And that's kind of my point. Is like, yeah, you can cast and fish flies in there, but you're going to be fishing them more like a lure. You know, you're not really going to be casting out, getting a sinking line 40 feet down. I mean, I'm sure there's people that are, and there's ways you can do it, but if I was in the boat, I'd just use a spoon or a plug or whatever. There's tube style flies that are really good for that kind of depth too. But all that kind of thing, I wouldn't be fishing on a fly rod if I'm going 40 feet down. Most lake trout too, like in their mannerisms, they school and they swim around like really similar to how salmon do, where they'll be in a school and they'll, be 10, 15 of them or so, and they'll stick together and they'll cruise the shoals and they'll cruise areas and they'll look for small fish and other stuff, and then they'll just come in and nail everything. At least that's the way they do it around here, but a lot of times you'll want to have like a flasher somewhere on your line, like up a ways, like one of those big, there's a name for them, but the ones that are shaped like a loaf of bread. And the main reason for that is it's going to throw a lot of light around because there's very little light down that deep. And it's going to flip around and it's going to throw a lot of light, and it'll act like a school of bait fish that is trying to get away from something, or, the bait fish would cause the same kind of light pattern, and that'll attract them to the area so you don't have to be as lucky. And then hopefully they'll see your hook there and they'll nail it, thinking it's one of those bait fish that attracted them over there in the first place. There you go, that's a Purple Peril. We're going to throw some head cement on there. Yeah, if you're going down like 40 feet for something like lake trout, you're probably going to be using like a gang ball weight, a big lead cannonball to get you down that deep and hold you down that deep so you can keep your depth. It's not that you can't use flies that deep, you definitely can. If you're planning on catching more than one or two of these guys, because they have some pretty wicked sharp teeth. Rosin helps a lot, like if your thread's bumping around on you. Yeah, kind of looks like it owes someone money. If your thread's moving around, that's going to be caused by a couple things. Either your thread tension's wrong, you're either putting too much thread tension or not enough. But if your thread tension's okay, and it's just the material that you're tying in, either your thread's slipping on the material or your thread's slipping on the hook or the thread itself, the best thing you can do is add a little bit of rosin or wax. So this is rosin, same stuff they use in a violin bow. It's really, really inexpensive. Rosin will make it stick. Wax will gum it up. So the two of them are very different, even though they're kind of used interchangeably. But the rosin will literally make it grip and stick. The wax, which I should have around here. wax, where'd you go? Huh, where's my wax? Alright, well this is dubbing wax, but same difference, I guess, it's just softer. So this is dubbing wax, and this is literally just wax in a tube, like a chapstick. Beeswax works excellent if you don't have access to like fly tying wax. Just go to any hardware store and buy a toilet ring. I know it sounds silly, but if you look on the boxes of toilet rings, that's a wax ring that gets put on the floor and you put your toilet down, so it squishes up into all the little crevices and seals your toilet to the floor. But 90% of most toilet wings are 100% beeswax. And they're extremely cheap because it's a toilet ring. Nobody wants to pay very much for one. You know, they're disposable. You scrape them off after. So, that's head cement, this stuff. So I'm just getting to that. So this is stuff I've already put on here. This is just your regular old head cement. And this is an acetone based. So as you can see, hopefully you can see, it's really, really liquidy. So it's almost like water. This stuff's actually getting thicker. You can see how it's kind of yellow. When you originally buy it, it's clear like water. And as it gets used, it'll get thicker and thicker. I have a bottle down there that's gone too thick, down to about like here, and it's like honey. It's super thick. And it just does that as the acetone evaporates. So you can add acetone to this to thin it back out. Yeah, totally. Just jump on like Amazon, honestly, because you're not gonna find it in a fly shop. It's a really old method of keeping your thread together. And it'll last you a lifetime. I mean, this was given to me, and it's broken. There's another half of it somewhere in one of my boxes, but it was twice as long. It was like this big. But I've been using this same piece of rosin ever since I started tying. Like this was in one of my first tying kits. And yeah, it's like really old and decrepit and extremely hard. This was originally soft, kind of like a Tootsie Roll when I first got it. And it's completely dried out now, so this probably needs to be replaced a long time ago. But I'm still using it. So yeah, buy one and you'll have one for your lifetime. You know, I don't think you'll ever wear one out, because you really only need like a whiff of it. You don't need much. But yeah, go on like Amazon, look up violin rosin, and you can get a nice stick of that stuff. And it normally comes in like a little wrapper, and then most of the time they're poured into like a wooden. That's the only thing you'd have to pay attention to is what they're poured into, because a lot of times they're poured into like a U-shaped kind of cup of wood, which is fine and it looks really pretty. But you just got to make sure that you can still get your thread into it, so it's not like a small cup like you'd have for like lip gloss or something. So you can't get, after you use the top bit, you couldn't get access to the bottom because it's stuck in the cup. Some brands will have like a U-shaped cup, so it's open on either side, so the bow can go through it. The same thing, you don't want to rub your bow on something hard because you can wreck the... I'm glad you found it, Glacier Shark. Sorry, Shark, I didn't realize it was you there. Yeah, and like if you can get a thing of rosin, it'll last you a lifetime. Like literally, this one's... I can't count how many thousands of flies. You can see like I've made some notches into it ish with the thread there, but I mean like really I haven't really used much, maybe like 2 or 5% of this thing. And I've been using it for like, I don't know, 25, 30 years. But yeah, if you find them online, there's generally about 3 different types that you're going to see online. There's a dark rosin, and that's made generally from birch wood, and that's the type I like, obviously. That's the one I got. Then there's a honey colored rosin, or like a reddish colored rosin, and that one has a lot more tannins in it, so it's not quite as sticky as the dark rosin. That one has a lot more tannins from cedar. The first one's birch, And then if you go to a light colored rosin that looks like honey, it's like yellow, see-through, transparent. That one's a rosin that's made from pine nuts, the pine like tree nuts, pine cones. And that one's like the cleanest rosin. It doesn't have nearly as much stick, and depending on what you're going for, that might even be a better option for you for tying. I just happen to have the birch rosin. It's literally tree sap mostly. 95% of it's tree sap. Yeah, I've been planning on actually making my own to replace that one. I should be spinning this so we don't get a lopsided head, so I apologize. But that is a Purple Peril. I'm quite happy with its crazy little wing up top here. That's the traditional wing pattern too. I mean, you can try and tie it back a bit. Yeah, good to see you in Devon. And Maddie too, good to see you, mate. Yeah, but sorry, Tyler. Sorry, I got off on a tangent there with other stuff, but yeah, head cement. This is different than the other glues you're gonna find. You'll want to get yourself a bottle of this. It's not very much, you know, $7-8. And this will last you thousands of flies. I opened this bottle at the start of the year. You know, I tie every day, and I'm down now maybe a quarter of the bottle. You can see the amount right there, just at the top of the thing. So they'll last you, you know, for $8, that's going to last you thousands and thousands of flies. You can thin it back out by adding a little acetone. If you can't find that, just regular old Sally Hansen's nail polish. It's pretty much the same stuff. It has a little different makeup, but it is acetone based, and it will, the two of them, the one will melt the other. But this, same thing. You can just go with this, good to go. You can tie all your flies with that. You can pick that up at any, you know, beauty salon place or pharmacy or what have you. Any place that sells girly stuff. Barring that, you can go with UV resins. You can go with a super glue. I don't like this myself. I only use it when I have to, as it goes white and it's you know, sticks to your fingers, sticks your fingers together. All the stuff you don't want it to do, or the other stuff you can clean up really easily. But there's definitely uses for it. So at some point you should pick up some super glue. Some people like the brush version. I like the little dabber version. That's all personal preference. It's all the same as starts with an A. It's not acetone. It's aceta. I can't recall the name. Anyway, all super glue is the same. The only difference is the formulation. You get some that are formulated more. Yeah, I know. You totally gotta, you know, scare the tree, run up to the tree, roar, brandish a knife. You gotta make sure it's a big knife. The tree knows what's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much all you're doing is you're mixing. I've made it before. I don't have the stuff I made, and I kind of wish I did. But you boil down the rosin or the resin from the tree, which is just the pitch that comes out of the tree. You boil it down in like a coffee can or something you don't care about because it's going to be nasty and sticky. And then when it's done, you cool it off, and it's almost like a hard glass, and it's very brittle. And then you got to mix in some ash. If you're making this black version, you mix in a little bit of ash, and you mix in a little bit of beeswax to soften it again. And some people will put in oils too, like I've heard people using like duck fat and other types of oils. Bear grease is another common one, or mink oil. Just to soften it and stop it from doing what this one has done, which is turn into a hard brick. So it just keeps it soft. Yeah, you could actually literally just grab some tree rosin, boil it down a bit, and what you're doing when you're boiling it down is you're releasing the come on brain, come up with a word, the varnish off of it. So it'll smell like, as it's boiling down, it'll smell like varnish, like what you'd use for varnishing a tabletop, because that's pretty much what is boiling off of it. You just want to keep the oxygen level low, so a lot of times people put a lid on it, put a little hole in it to stop it from combusting, and eventually all the varnish will burn off or separate, and then you're just left with the tarry goodness in the bottom, and that's your rosin. Hi, I totally messed up my thing here. I'm going to do the spin and spiel. Got sidetracked. Apologize. Howdy everyone, Nimby here. Today in the vise we got a Purple Peril. This is tied on a size 4. Or sorry, this one's actually tied on a, size 4. It has a purple hackle for the tail, purple hackle for the throat. It is tied up with a purple Fentex body. You can also use wool, chased with a little bit of silver tinsel with a deer hair body overwing. This is dyed slightly pink. You're welcome to use gray as well, and it's a very popular pattern that was originally tied in Nimby, BC on the island and used for sea run, cutthroat, and also steelhead and salmon. It's used more for cloudy days or days where there isn't much light, or if you're fishing really deep. The purple colors help out with all those scenarios where there isn't a whole lot of light to show the other colors up. Very popular pattern in the late 60s and 70s and still used today. Wonderful little fly. Add one to your box, eh? There we go. Time is it? Do I got time for another one? Yeah, why not? Sure, we'll do another one. I'll do less talking and more tying. I always tie so slow. Not that I'm like on any sort of time frame or rush or anything, but I always tie so slow when we got the streams going. Where did my thing go? Trying to figure out which cork I was sticking these guys in. Ugh. You look like a good candidate, I think. Well, you should have a bare hook in you somewhere. Was it a different one? Maybe you. Yes, you were the one. Hey, Yoshi. We're gonna do, I think tomorrow we're doing the pink version of the of this orange one that we did the other day. So I'll save this big old hook here. Pink. There we go. A simple, well, fairly simple fly for the size of it. But yeah, you should always have some darker colored flies in your box for those days where it's just really rainy and nasty and cold and gray. And the purple violet spectrum works a lot better on those days. Okay. Sorry, brain shut off. Let's get this fly going. So we're gonna do a full-length body. Oh, good. Is the weather finally creeping up for you? Yeah, the weather's been so weird here lately. It does not feel like winter at all. It's gonna be much better for the animals, but jeez. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, that's the thing here. It's just like, you know, my whole life living up here, I don't think we've ever had a winter where I couldn't ice fish. That's crazy. Like I said, last year at this time of year, I was cutting through like 4.5 feet of ice. I almost couldn't get through to my ice auger. And this year, I'm scared to go out on that stuff because it's so rotten. There are some people braving it and going out there, but it's like, you know, it's not worth it to me. And the bigger lake that we have, the bigger lake that I have that's a little ways away from me, it's still open water, which is crazy for this time of year. I can't remember ever seeing that lake have open water in January. It's got some fairly deep spots. I think it goes to like 200-300 feet in a couple spots, so it's a deep lake. But that all being said, it still freezes over. Because it's not very wide. Well, for a lake that deep, it's not very wide. Maybe like 200 meters, 500 meters across in most spots. There's just some really deep cliffs, which is really cool. I'll get some videos of it this summer. Show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, our snow's pretty much gone. I got like a little bit of snow on my deck and on the yard where the sun isn't poking through, but morning. Morning, Jack Pepper. Good to have you in, mate. Yeah, I don't think this new setup, I don't mind it. It's working okay. And it's nice having the horizontal and the vertical stream. But I don't think it's pushing me out to the vertical streams anymore, which is annoying. I'm gonna have to try and figure that out. That's okay. At least I didn't fall back to sleep. That would have been embarrassing. Nimby, wake up. Come on. Got fly tying to do. Yeah. Be interesting to see. Hopefully we'll have a good fire season this year. I mean, we got lots of moisture. And there's a good amount of snowpack still, but it's been just so warm. No, I'm trying the new thing that YouTube just released. Yeah, more tea, exactly. Ugh, I'm almost out of tea, sadly. It's a travesty. It's a travesty. There you go. Oh, more tea. I don't feel like we're gonna have a bad fire season. because we have so much moisture and the trees are happy and everything's happy. So we'll have to see how hot and dry things get. Okay, let's tie in that other purple we got going here. Oof, she's a little on the fuzzy side. You see what I did there? I love my puns. Always have. Yeah, I don't think it's pushing me out to the live stream channels anymore since I switched over to it. And I don't know if that's something I did for a setting, because I had to completely gut all my software and start over, because it wasn't like in my vertical camera setup. But when I had the vertical software, sending that out to the horizontal feed, it was working fine, and it was sending me out to the shorts and the vertical long feed, which you get most of your traffic from. And then when I set it up for horizontal, and it's supposed to split it automatically for you, which it is doing, but then it's not putting me into those feeds anymore, so it's kind of like, ugh. Did a lot of work, and have it not work is kind of kicking the butt. But what are you gonna do? So I'm gonna do a few streams like this, set up this way, and just see if it eventually kicks over, and if it don't, then I'll have to start playing with it. Might have to go back to the way things were, which is too bad, because I really like having the two streams, the horizontal and the vertical. Because I prefer filming it in horizontal, although I've gotten used to filming in the vertical format. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap this guy. Actually, we'll go this direction. Oh, tinsel, behave yourself, stay in the clip. Yeah, I installed a new game too. I haven't played with it yet, but it's I think it's !basketball. It might be. I said, haven't even played with it yet. Don't know if it even works. I was too busy trying to get the stream stuff working again. Yeah, we do. We have a big K and a little K. I probably, in hindsight here, brought this like way too far forward, so I did not leave myself enough room for the head, so we're gonna have to make it work. I definitely did not leave myself enough room there, but that's okay. Just got busy tying and not thinking. There you go. Look at K-Fish started a basketball match. We'll have to see how this goes. Yep, type ! join red, join blue. So I think it's just ! join space red or join space blue. Like I said, I haven't actually set this up yet, but I thought it'd be fun to add for you guys. I think it's ! join. Yeah, just like K-Fish just did. Yeah, like Rob did. I think you gotta have the exclamation mark right next to the join, and then space red. Like I said, I haven't, or you might have to have red in brackets. I'm not sure. I'll have to check the actual commands. Like I said, just added it. It's all good, Wee Man. I literally haven't even played this or done anything with it. I just added the code for it. I have no idea how it works or if it's even fun. But you guys have fun. Enjoy. Yeah, I'll just hand wrap this. If you get it right, I assume it should tell you that you've joined red, the red team or something. But like I said, I don't know. You guys are more than welcome to play with it though. There you go. No, don't slide down like that, you silly thing. And I can spawn like extra avatars if we don't have enough people for a game, that kind of thing. I'm not gonna do that right now because I'm tying, but it is an option. Whew. Man, I'm not leaving myself much room here, but we're gonna make it work. Yeah, I have no idea if this is even gonna work. Like I said, I haven't run it yet. It looks like it's trying to run, so that's cool. That means I got less work to make it work if it doesn't work. There's a bunch of like slot machines and roulette and gambling stuff, but I want to stay away from that just with all of YouTube's new community guidelines on gambling stuff. But I think star jumping and basketball are fairly safe things. Yeah, I can change like the team colors and everything too. Red and blue is just obviously the default. I have to do a few beards here because this is pretty thin stuff. There we go. We'll tie one more clump for the beard in here. I think we'll call that good. Yeah, I don't know if this countdown is going to be for the game itself or the starting of the game, or I don't know how to play it. So, like I said, I'll have to read up on the rules and what commands you guys need to type in. It's a tie game. Nobody wins. Okay, so I guess that means it was actually running there. So I apologize. Like I said, I'll have to look at the code and get that fixed up. That might be fun to do. Yep. Like I said, I gotta deal with all this streaming weirdness first, and then I'll look at adding some more stuff to the avatars. I'm gonna leave that little bump there because I'm gonna bury that in once we get the wing on. Hopefully everyone's having a good morning so far. I feel like it's a pretty chill Thursday. It's probably Rob. Like paid off the coach. I can throw some stars in there if you guys want to jump for some stars. Ugh. I'll have to actually put some stuff that you guys can buy with the points too, like hats and different things at some point. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Jump to your heart's content. So I'm just gonna grab this, grab all the short stuff, or grab the long stuff so the short stuff's loose. Renzetti is a wonderful starter vise and very, very, very popular. There we go. Yeah, a lot of guys in here are tying on Renzetti, so like the other K-Fish, who's not here, has a Renzetti. Who else has a Renzetti? David has a Renzetti. Yoshi, you're cleaning house here, man. Yeah, I do hear that from a lot of people that are starting out and then they'll buy like a Griffin or something and want to move up. Yeah, I can't let you out right now, dog. Got a whole bunch of deer hair in my hand. You're gonna have to hold on. Yeah, I think K-Fish got like the limited purple one. I know they have different versions and everything. I think you can get like a used Renzetti Traveler for around 100, a little over 100. They're fairly common on things like Facebook Marketplace and that kind of thing. Since they're so popular, there's a lot of them out there in the used market too, so if you're not worried about it being brand new, you can definitely find some in the used market, that's for sure. Because they are popular. Oh, come on now. Yeah, things have gone up a lot too, so well, everything has, right? Trying to get this to lay right on top, but my thread wraps are deceiving me. Come on, buddy. Yeah. I cut a lot of that hair, not on purpose. How's it go? She's good enough. Like I said, we're just going a little quicker and dirtier with this one. And hard to get even if you got the money. That's the thing, there's only so many of them. That's why they're so pricey. Yep, you can get a workable, decent, you know, vise like a Griffin or one of the East Indian ones for like 50 bucks. Yep. I mean, I'm looking through some rose-colored glasses because when I started tying, you could get like a Thompson A or Model A Thompson vise for, you know, like 28 to... My first vise that I bought brand new was like 28 bucks. And I tied thousands of flies on that thing. It was like a knockoff of a Thompson, but a good knockoff. Like a Thompson Model A, don't have one handy, but they're very classic vices. Probably the ones you see generally in most like 70s, 80s fly tying books and magazines. Yeah, you'll find that. I prefer the ones that aren't painted, to be honest. Or you can just take some sandpaper and sand it off, or nail file. If you have one directional file, like files, there's files that cut in one direction, there's files that cut in both directions. And the both directions have like a crosshatch pattern, so you want the ones that actually have like teeth, where they're cut in a single pattern. And the reason for that is as you're cutting, well, you're basically cutting, but as you're sanding the jaws flat again, you're leaving very micro serrations in the jaws, which allows you to hold the hook better. It'll give you a much better grip than if you used a bi-directional file. So there you go, little tip. Yeah, I mean, Regals are just, it's all around just a well-designed, simple vise that'll take you from beginner all the way up. But it's still got a price point too, right? Like, it's still expensive for some people. And like, you can tie on a $40 vise without a problem. The difference with a $40 vise though is there's going to be a major difference in quality from vise to vise too. So if you can actually open the box up and look at it, put it together on the bench before you buy it at the shop, make sure things aren't loose, make sure the threads aren't stripped, make sure there isn't like casting imperfections that stop you from tightening everything down. Those are the things that are going to run you into problems with a cheaper vise. But if you can narrow all those things out, the rest of it won't matter as much. And some of those things you can fix too. I mean, if you don't have a choice, you can... Yeah, I imagine. They're not cheap. Hey, thanks for subbing. Appreciate that. Welcome to the little fly tying den we got going on here. We're here pretty much every morning. Okay, so we'll just throw some head cement on that. That's another Purple Peril. Yep, you really don't. You will run into problems, like the cheaper vices won't last as long. That's just a given, it's just not going to, because the metallurgy isn't there. Like the jaws on this vise are incredibly hard. And it's a balancing act, right? The harder you make your jaws, the less likely they are to wear out, but they're also more brittle. Yeah, I'd highly recommend Marketplace. I mean, that's where I got this vise. I only paid 40 bucks for this vise, and this is a $1,000 vise. And if you're buying a good vise, it shouldn't matter how many flies the other guy's tied on it, because it should last you almost a lifetime, right? But yeah, this is a $999 American, so not even like Canadian pesos. This is American. But yeah, definitely look at the used market. There's plenty of, it's a sad fact, but there's plenty of older tires that have medical issues or other reasons that they can't tie anymore. Or they pass away and the family doesn't know what to do with the stuff. That's pretty common. And I like to think that those tires would be thrilled to have a young tire or a new tire use their vise. Because if it was the opposite, that's exactly, I would be happy with it. I'm just going to try changing my camera lens here 1 second. Oh, that's the wrong one. Alright, that is the right one. Now it's focused. Why weren't you focusing the whole time before? Sorry guys, now it's in focus. That's much better. That's much better. Oh, did you guys notice the difference there? Because I sure did. Hopefully it shows up for you guys too. Alright, gonna do my spin and spiel. Now that it's actually in focus, I can see the fly. In the vise we have a Purple Peril. This is tied on a size 4. Yeah, it's a wonderful little fly that was originally tied in the Nanaimo area of Vancouver Island. This is used in days when it's cloudy out or there's not a lot of sun or it's rainy, which happens a lot on Vancouver Island. So the purple colors help you when you're going either really deep or there just isn't very much light out because the bright colors won't show to the fish. And I don't know who was the original tire of this, but it became very popular in the late 60s, early 70s, and it's still in most fly shops to this day for steelhead, salmon, sea run cutthroat, lots of different fish. Excellent little pattern. Add a couple to your box. We start off with a tail, which is just purple rooster hackle for the beard, and a purple body chased with a silver mylar and a very light pink deer body hair. You can also use gray or craft fur or anything you got kicking around for the wing on the top. Wonderful little fly. Add a couple to your boxing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I gotta have more than a dozen vices, if not more than that. I should do a video on vices, actually, have them all set up and go over like the different vices I have. I don't have a lot of like the really more modern, expensive, high-end vices, but I got lots of the more entry-level, older vices. I got gobs of those. Okay, so just want to yabber about the stream there since we're at kind of the end here. Just want to see what you guys are thinking. So I redid all my software, and I'm using the new YouTube's horizontal vertical streaming setup, which works good for me because I don't need to split the stream and send off 2 different stream keys. So I'm not actually sending 2 streams out, which allows me to have a lot more bandwidth so I can send out a cleaner, good image. However, with this new setup, I'm dropping frames. Not a lot, mind you. I only dropped 3% of my frames for this stream, but that's still 5,372 frames, which sounds like a lot, but since we've been going for, you know, an hour and a half, it's really, you know, not much. So has anyone noticed any jittering or frame drops or other issues? I'd like to know. Because I'm not sure why I'm getting the frame drops now, and I wasn't getting the frame drops before. And it's all the same hardware. I've had to redo all my software. Yeah, it looks good to me. Like, I'm even running the stream myself here in horizontal. So that's eating up a little bit of bandwidth, but okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, like, it's saying I'm dropping frames. It's still happy with the stream quality and the stream health, they call it, but the quality of the stream has been excellent the whole time, which is weird that I'm dropping frames. Like, it's only 3%, which isn't a huge drop rate, but I'm normally at like almost 0 or like 0.1 or something. So a 3% drop, and that's on my side before it goes out to YouTube, so I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I'm dropping frames. I know that I'm not trying to get all in the weeds with you guys, but I can't see what you guys are seeing, so and I do want to get this. You know, not only do I want it to work well, I want it to be consistent and not junky for some people and good for others. You know, obviously I want to just give you guys the best stream I can with what I got, and I want this new horizontal vertical thing to work. I don't know if it's working for me though. I think I might have been better off with my other setup. I'm happier with the image quality because I can get like a much better, a much cleaner picture with this setup in a horizontal version with my cameras. So I don't know if you've all watched my stuff before. So do you think it looks better? Is it sharper? Is it less laggy? Is audio the same? Like, am I kind of sitting in the same range as where we were before? Or does it look better than it did? Or is it like not noticeable? Because if I'm doing all this work and it's not noticeable for anyone and no one really, you know, benefits from the horizontal view, I might just go back to what we had before, to be honest. It could just be growth hiccup issues with the YouTube side of things too, because this was like just released last week for Canada, so it could be some growing pains on the YouTube side of things too. More tea. But thanks for sending me the screenshots of the stream so I can have a look, because I can only see what I can see. But overall, it seems like it's doing well. It's just it's still not pushing me out to the vertical servers, so it doesn't look like I'm getting, because we're sitting here like around 12 viewers at a time, so we're definitely not getting pushed out to the main servers, because we're only sitting at 488 views for this stream, which is quite low for me, but that's all good. It's 488, you know, decent viewers. So I think what's happening is I'm only getting the views through the horizontal, and it's not pushing the vertical. I'm not sure why it was doing that earlier and it's not now. Really? Huh. Okay. Well, I'll keep this going for a couple more rounds here. I'll play with it when I get some time, but it's hard to play with without actually running a live stream. Like, you know, I can run unlisted ones or private ones, but you don't really know what's actually going out to the viewers, right? Until you actually publish it. I'm not sure what would be better. I feel like the camera quality is better when I can do the horizontal like this. But yeah, I'll play with it for a few more sessions here. I might try and go back to the other setup. Good, okay. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, like Rob was saying there, it's hard to tell if it's a problem, you know, maybe on the viewer's end and the internet's not the best, or YouTube's being YouTube. I'm very thankful for everything YouTube does, like the from a technical standpoint, like being a techie myself, the amount of like amazing behind the scenes magic that has to happen to even for this to work at all is pretty crazy that you can do this kind of thing for free. Um, so I'm very grateful for that. I just want to try and get the, you know, the most bang out of my buck for what I got, so I can give you guys the best stream I can. And I was really hoping that this whole vertical horizontal thing was going to work out well. It seems to be working okay. I just don't know if it was worth losing all the control I had over the vertical streams, because I seem to have no control over the vertical now. It's just all lands in YouTube's lap. But in either case, I just want to thank everyone for coming out this morning. We're going to thank Rob. We're going to thank Yoshi. Wee Man. Maddie. Maddie's, I think, still hanging out. If not, have a good day, Maddie. We had Tyler. We had K-Fish Pro, who just got past his 50 subs. I'm sure you guys are all subscribed to him. If not, what are you doing? You need to go sub that kid. And of course, we got Shark. And is that everyone today? Let's see, Maddie. Oh, Muddy Waters, of course. Can't forget Muddy. I think that's everyone. I think I got them all. Okay, cool. It was good hanging out with you guys. Thanks for enjoying some purple flies with me today. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, have a good day, guys. You're welcome.